Renato Moicano versus Jay Herbert. Moicano opened up as a minus 225 favorite with a plus 190 comeback for Herbert. Herbert is, listen, man, this dude's accomplished. He's a Cage Warriors champion. He was on a 4-fight finish streak prior to his last loss, which was his UFC debut. A very, very tough matchup versus Francisco Trinaldo, who has real deal experience, man. I want to ask you, how are you feeling about Moicano right now? This dude is 2-3 in his last 5, and he's been knocked out 3 times, I believe, in his last 5 fights. So just give me your take. What are you thinking?
I'm not riding as high on him as I thought before, especially when after that Cub Swanson win, he looked real good coming out rear naked choke it out in the first, but then he just started facing some serious killers, Jose Aldo, Chan Sung Jung, we just mentioned the zombie, and then he got back with the Demir Hadzovic, but that wasn't as impressive of a win. Now he lost dirty to that Fazayev fight, man, and that really kind of put a hitch in his game plan, if you will. I used to love Renato Moicano specifically because he likes to fight long and mean, and he's down to bite down on his mouthpiece and swing for the fences. So if we can see him come out and kind of fight with that spark again, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. How do you feel about him?
Well, listen, I think that right now Moicano is in that territory of, does he trust himself, if that makes sense, right? I feel for a lot of fighters, when you lose, a kind of frequent amount in your last 5, 6, 7 fights or whatever the case may be, especially when it's by knockout every single time, you can start to question your own capabilities and whatnot. And I think that Moicano needs to take a step back from the chasing he had a really good contest against Calvin Kattar, 2018, he had a really, really good contest against Calvin Kattar. Dude put up a record amount of significant strikes, 116. That's the most in his career, right? I feel like he's been chasing that ever since that fight, and it hasn't come out very well for him. So I think he needs to go double down on his strengths with the submissions, man. This dude has a nasty rear naked choke. If he snatches your neck, it's going to be game over. And in a contest like the one that we have in front of us right here, AJ, versus a real striker in Jay Herbert, a dude who's a real finisher, like I just mentioned, I think that's probably his best bet. Now, I do have to put this as a caveat, AJ. Moicano fought at a featherweight, right? All those names we're talking about, those are all featherweight names. He fought from featherweight from 2010 to 2019. He is now 1-1 at 155 pounds, man. So that's going to be the difference, man. Sometimes this could make you or it could break you, right? It could say, okay, I'm not as sucked down, not as sucked dry, but I might not be the biggest dude in the world anymore. Let me ask you, how do you think that this is going to play into this contest? Especially if, let's say, Moicano goes grappling heavy, being a little bit bigger probably, works in his favor, right?
Yeah, actually, I really like him at the 155-pound class. He looks a little thicker, a little bigger, and especially against Jay Herbert, who's the taller, skinnier fighter, I think it's going to play off well for him to get up on the inside, shoot those takedowns, get the ground game going. Like you said, you actually said it perfectly, Derek. I'm hoping that's what Renato Moicano goes out and does, is stick back to the game plan, because he's so comfortable in the ground game that he's down to let the hands swing and throw heavy leather. But I really hope he gets back to that choking out people ways, man. It's more so his style, and it's going to get him right back, at least in the mental aspect, get back to square one, excuse me. But Jay Herbert, man, he's long, he's tall, and he has some sting to him, kind of unexpectedly, because he's so skinny. You don't think this dude can crack, but he can crack you from like 3 feet away. And the biggest thing to me about Jay Herbert is his mental game. They're both kind of fighting that mental loss, because he was beating up Trinaldo pretty good rounds 1 and 2, and then just the old school vet came to play, and that's what happens, man. You get a little delayed, and when I was watching the fight against Trinaldo, Herbert looked like he was almost being too patient. Like he was almost too good in the fight and thinking like, I'm going to be an old school vet, I'm going to stay patient, I'm going to wait for my chance, and then just Trinaldo turned it around on him, and he should have hunted for a KO, maybe a submission, and who knows, maybe that would have also not worked out for him. But either way, he didn't get the win anyway. So you got to push it. What do you think?
Well, I will just add to that, it was his UFC debut, right? So you got the jitters, you got the nerves. It's probably not how you're going to always perform, but you're also facing a dude in Trinaldo, like I said earlier. Dude has so much experience. That's a tough outing in your UFC debut. What's one thing I really like about Jay Herbert, man, which I think could be very dangerous for Moicano in this fight? Herbert has long knees, man. If he gets his hands and clasps them behind your head, that's how he defended his lightweight championship at Cage Warriors, man. He knocked a dude out with a tie clinch knee, man. It was ridiculous. It was nasty. It was disgusting. And one thing I know about Moicano is he's a slow starter, man. So if Herbert can fix those errors of like, I'm not going to pace it out, I'm not going to be too patient, I'm going to attack the opportunity the moment it presents itself, I can see a knockout finish for Herbert, man. Absolutely. Now, the caveat, as always, AJ, let's look at a couple stats, right? Significant strikes landed per minute. We got 5.4 at a 46% clip from Moicano. And because Herbert only had one fight in the UFC, it's obviously skewed stats, but he's at 30% accuracy, only like one significant strike landed per minute. The key thing here is the takedown defense. He wasn't really able to stuff the takedowns from Trinaldo very well, right? 33% takedown defense overall. Moicano, listen, he shoots very regularly in his fights, and we're already talking about the grappling situation. I think Herbert can hold his own on the ground, but Moicano is a different caliber of grappler. And it's like we can kind of keep going in circles about it. If he really doubles down on it, this fight could prove very dangerous. Outside of like a first round knockout, do you think that Herbert can win this fight on points?
I do actually. If Herbert's actually able to maintain distance and start popping shots from the outside, really using that length advantage, because is it a 77 reach to a 72-inch reach? That's what I got down, somewhere around there. Tapology has it like that. So if Herbert's able to maintain that strike, he has a very quick front kick as well. He uses his jab, and that jab stays long, very long. He'll tap you, like I said, 3 feet away, where you don't even come close. You're thinking you're out of range, and he hits you. If he's able to do that, really point style win, I could see it. I could see it happening, especially if he can actually shut down Moicano's takedown game. Because if that's the case, and Moicano kind of has to be forced to fight stand up, I don't see it going the best route for him.
Yeah, man. I will say Jay Herbert, he reminds me a little bit of a Charles Oliveira. You know what I mean? The way he throws his strikes so crisp, and he doesn't leave himself out of position, right? So it'll be like that jab straight, but it's not that overextending overhand. It's just that bap and bring it back. And if he could, like I said, if he could put those pieces together, it's definitely going to work out well for him. But this is clearly an example of the UFC saying, oh, we're going to pick the dude who's the complete opposite style of you. I just hope Moicano doesn't try to get into a firefight, because he does mix up, man, his left hook and those right calf kicks. You know what I mean? He mixes up the calf kicks and the punches very well, but that left hook, I think that's how the Korean Zombie got him out of there, is that he just knew. He was like, every time I get in here, every time I throw that jab, you're going to try to throw that left hook. I'm going to counter it, bat, put you to sleep. That's exactly what he did. So yeah, let's see if we can get a repeat of the Hadzovic, you know who I'm talking about, Demir. Yeah, if we can get a repeat of that, it'll be good. But this is just one of those situations where you want both guys to win. I want Herbert, his stock to rise, because dude is legit, and Moicano, it's like this dude has been around for a long time. So with that being said, AJ, give me your pick and why.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. I actually think this one can be a coin toss. It really depends for me how Moicano comes out and fights. If he's down to bite on the mouthpiece, it's going to be a very fun, entertaining fight for Herbert. But personally, I think Moicano's going to start shooting for the takedowns, get a ground game going, get the submission, round 1. Who you got?
All right. Well, I think that listen, it's tough because like my heart, or I guess my mind, is saying Herbert should be able to learn from those mistakes and keep his distance and whatnot. But my heart says Moicano. What is the odds of Herbert being able to keep his distance and just stay untouched by Moicano and piece him apart the whole time, versus all it takes is walking in crazy one time, get you to the ground, and keeping you there for the rest of the round, man. And I always go with the grappler, so I'm gonna go Moicano, and I'm gonna go second round rear naked choke, man. I'm gonna go specific, not just a submission. I'm literally going rear naked choke. Moicano has won 3 of his 6 UFC fights by rear naked choke. That is his absolute go-to. So